no columns, no nothing. An empty area that they said could take an airplane easily in there. One of the Egyptologists said this is for ET when he comes back in the spaceship. Because I'm telling you the truth. A lot of people think the aliens built it for the Egyptians.
Right.
Thank you, aliens, for choosing Egypt. I won't forget one now because of you. I don't really think it's aliens. I think ancient people, not only the Egyptian, ancient people in different civilizations, India, China, Greek, and whatsoever, they were really advanced. It's way more than we think. We think we're smart enough to know that those guys were actually smarter than us. Big time.
I'll stick with
The cool guys, right?
you were alone, sister. Sad. I'll stick with
The cool guys, right?
you were alone, sister. Sad.
A huge
This is the Great Pyramid.
Want to step this way? The granite roof of this construction just filled for the Pharaoh's actual palace. It would have an enclosure wall surrounding his palace, and it was decorated with this kind of recesses. This is part of the decoration. They did the same thing for the afterlife, for the eternal life. We know this 13 are fake, 14th is the only one is real, kind of to deceive the tomb robbers in the lifetime, even in the afterlife or the eternal life. While walking through the entrance, and we're going to need to sanitize our hands when we get back. If you wish, I want you just to gently touch the wall, feel the wall wide, because the whole complex back in the day was covered with limestone, would be polished and smooth exactly like the entrance. So every single part of the whole complex was the same like the entrance. Also, I want you to notice and have a look to the ceiling in the top. Why? Because this being the first stone could be, except that there's nothing found to prove what we are saying. All what we have just clears of what we think it used to be. The ceiling is, of course, new. Once we get closer at the end of it, let's go, guys. You will look at the top. They took the mummy somewhere else and take all the gold out of it. But we found a lot of alabaster jars. We found 2 coffins of his daughters, and the mummy is still there. And let me tell you, not many Egyptologists know about that. Not many people talk about that. Why? I have no idea. You're probably going to find it on eBay soon. Do you think I'm kidding? I forgot to mention the Great Pyramid this morning. A private car. He was German, probably too. They paid a lot of money to open just for them, which is doable if you're going to pay for it. Kind of maybe was representing Egypt. It's all solid and kind of damaged. You can see that building, and there's a building behind. We call them north and south houses. Egypt back in the day, before being united, always been divided into south and north. Upper and lower Egypt. And what is upper Egypt, guys? South. Lower Egypt is... it's not like this. This must be the Kashmina, 100 Egyptian pound. I mean 100% Egyptian cotton, right? يا انت باعوا في الهرم الاثنين ب5.
والله ما دي يا باشا والله ما دي
I'm trying to tell him 2 for 5 like it's not this one.
بص لا بس دي كبير ده بقول لك دي كبير.
Oh, so it's still Chinese, okay. But it's a little bigger size. It's the same size. Andiamo.
خد يا باشا ابو $3.
So it's easy for them to convert into Christianity. So this is a kind of a great union between the man and the woman. So leaving his house in a certain time, which is the flood time, it's the fertility time, it's kind of like meeting time. So he would go meet his wife or part and root and then return back again. One of the pharaohs that we consider him to be the last great warrior. Ramesses II, the one who loved himself way too much, finish it. But finishing it is kind of like, Dad, I love you, but I'm gonna take it from me. Oh, okay, I'm gonna give you a little part. Half, I'm not sure. But I'm gonna write your name in one and my name in the other. I'm gonna talk about two things. This is, I'm gonna show to you the key of life. You know the key of life? The Ankh. It looks like a ghost. Can you see it? What is the key of life? Written anywhere to tell us for sure? Negative. It's not written anywhere. But some were saying it's representing Egypt. Male in the bottom, can you see the male? And then the female kind of making marriage, doing it and making it. So it's a tie, it's a kind of like giving life or making life. And I was like, that sounds better and it's maybe real. But more studies is actually no. It's the whole thing is representing the woman, feminine. It's to be finished, transported all the way to here and erected within only 7 months. This is impossible to do today with the kind of modern machines that we have. And that's a kind of a reason why people think aliens were here in Egypt and they did that. The question is, how did they erect the obelisk? We don't know, just like the pyramid. But what we think, if they decided the location already, which is right here, they made the pedestal down in the bottom, as the pedestal, and then they covered the whole thing with sand, using ropes, power, human power, whatever power, keep taking the sand off and start pulling it up to erect it to be standing right on the top of the pedestal, and there is nothing between the pedestal and the piece of stone or the obelisk, no cement, no concrete, no nothing. It's air vacuum, and the way that could be not true, but it's interesting when you study the Egyptology. And his wife, Senkanemun, remember the movie of the mummy or the mummy? Senkanemun, don't leave me. Do you remember that movie? Don't go. And she did, by the way. She just like, she ran away. Do you remember that movie? Of Imhotep, the genius man, and you made him Batman? This is her and her face as well as the goddess granite stone. If you look to the side, lotus and papyrus, upper and lower Egypt at the very top. Can you see that? And the one at the top, representing Egypt south and north. And proceed.
We are walking around this 7 times counterclockwise so we get money. Whoa! Always helps to look where you're going. Wouldn't that be fun? Here we go. What are we up to, Deb? Okay. We have to do this 5 more times?
But you do that at some point. You're supposed to get tips.
Turn around gently to the face of the temple. Ramesses II, the great great warrior, great king, ruled the country for probably more than 60 years, maybe 65 years. Died when he was 95. The new researchers are saying probably was 96 or 97. That when he died old. The thigh, it's a prayer pose. This is a prayer temple. This is a cult temple. Where the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt, the statue, each single of them should be one single piece out of granite stone comes from Aswan. But there's 2 farther inside in a better condition that you will see yourself when we go farther inside. And the pose was correct according to the purpose of the temple, which is prayer or a cult one. Left leg forward. We mentioned left leg forward is the heart. dark side. It's a pose for the pharaoh to show that I can use bow and arrow, and you can also show us mighty enemy, and also it's a kind of moving forward. Poses that we have here in Egypt is the smiting one, and this is prayer with the raised hands that way, or if you're seated. Starting doing the restoration, this was already here, 10th century mosque. The entrance to this mosque is from here. You see that looks like a window on this side, on the temple side. That was the entrance to the mosque, right? Cleaning, doing some restoration to the temple, they found like, oops. What do you mean, oops? This is part of the temple. What do you mean? The mosque was built right in the fall of the temple. Roman capitals. Proceed nicely, gently. Going inside here, slippery. Alexander, now let me tell you. What would you, this was part of the festival that we call it the Opet Feast or the Opet Festival or the meeting one. So the god Amun-Ra will meet his wife, his lady, his partner right here. Let me tell you a story real quick. And I'm gonna finish the tour with that story.
This went between the two temples. And this was the Avenue of Sphinxes, which went between the whatever that temple was earlier today, the large one, and the Luxor temple here. And they used to have processions like right over there. A picture of a depiction.
What language do you guys speak?
From Iran. Oh, very interesting. We can actually read the alphabet here. And some languages have meanings to us, but I was trying to figure it out, but I would have never figured that out. Oh, yeah. My grandmother used to think that about 14. I don't know if I touched the cards.
This is KV14. Oh, there's the wings again. Mustafa?
Nena.
Nina?
Yeah.
Okay. David?
Nana?
Debbie.
TV?
Debbie.
Debbie? David.
Debbie. Mustafa?
Yes, Mustafa.
E?
Leila.
Nela.
Layla?
Nela.
Seriously, I don't want to pull over you.
Kijk, Jos is echt groot.
Bugs love it. From an earlier time, from the time of King Ramesses. The tower in the front of us, when you look down, this looks like a small little entrance. If you go through that one, once you go through it, ruins of a temple belonged to King Ramses, 1920 dynasty, old, a new kingdom, about 1200 BC, 1100 BC. The temple in the front of us, guys, took 180 years to be built. The capitals, Corinthian capitals, multiple flowers are mixed together. Ancient Egyptians only had papyrus and lotus, open or closed, and that's it. Egyptians also in ancient times used what we call a curtain wall, which is linking the columns together to give you a revenge. But look at the good side of it. What if we now in 2022 would tell you, guys, here we used to have a temple, but it was destroyed by the early Egyptian when they converted into Christianity because they were mad. And we would understand as Egyptians the kind of, even if it's sad to tell you we chisel it, but I'm proud of them, they didn't destroy it. Yes. Now look at us. If you want as a Egyptologist, an expert, the ground is not even, so don't fall, don't trip. I'm right behind you. Until the whole boat and moved it to the new Egyptian Museum. Another reason for you to come back to Egypt, maybe. Any other questions?
This is the view out our window on the Nile cruise.
The convoy or the caravan for the gold. Because yes, from here and Nubian land, which is the southern of Aswan, where Egypt was and is still getting its own gold from the ancient time. We still have the same mind that we use of them, and we have the fancy that we got this part from the Egyptian. Left leg forward, it's kind of like showing the perfection maybe, or the right leg forward, didn't matter for them. And the face is profile. Nose is profile, showing the perfection of the nose and the lips. Kind of breathing so he would have life, and he would guarantee to have the life and the eternal life as well. The eye is portrayed, even it's a single eye, so I can see all of my kids, my universe, my whole world as well. But when it comes for the man, his face is profile, but his body is portrayed. And the fancy that we got this part from the Egyptian. Left leg forward, it's kind of like showing the perfection maybe, or the right leg forward, didn't matter for them. And the face is profile. Nose is profile, showing the perfection of the nose and the lips. Kind of breathing so he would have life, and he would guarantee to have the life and the eternal life as well. The eye is portrayed, even it's a single eye, so I can see all of my kids, my universe, my whole world as well. But when it comes for the man, his face is profile, but his body is portrayed.
We're just passing through. I remember that big one. Yes, English. I can't believe there's actually you're speaking English, not Spanish, Portuguese. This one guy.
Inside the Abu Simbel temples.
Regarde bien, regarde bien. Regarde, c'est la... Comment ça s'appelle? Non,
Abu Simbel, where this was reclaimed from the flooding of the Nile at a particular lake. And there is the starring attraction, Debbie.
I'm going to take a cardboard.
Hi guys, Debbie. Hey guys. Hey Bobby.
White Nile. And we're not taking anybody's. Oh, look at that! Pretty. Good timing.
He's guessing what they're doing.
So we're not kind of taking anybody's water, being the last country, so we got the benefit of that. But recently, after this is it. That's the Nile. All right, guys, are you gonna sing a Nubian song for us,
Sam, you sure it's not that one?
Oh God! Mark of the water, how high it got that time. Can you see that? So that easily also you can tell when they used to do the tours back in the days in the late 1950s, early 1970s, you would have a small little boat and you look down to see the columns standing down in the water. With gate 1, and she took him in a tour on the Nile in a boat, kind for a few times. By the time they returned back to Alexandria, she was pregnant.
Oh.
And she gave him cesarean. And that we say was the first cesarean surgery in history. That's why he was named cesarean. That's why we call it today cesarean. It's because of Cleopatra was the first time to do a cesarean surgery at that time, and she got this kid, named hand the kid to Octavius, who killed him. And another one took the 3 kids of Mark Antony also to take them away, but he delivered them to Octavius and they were all killed. So I believe he found the tomb of Cleopatra and Mark Antony and probably destroyed the whole thing. This is my thinking when you go back to that time, because he really was mad at both of them, so most likely that's what happened. The reason I kind of talked about the story of Mark Antony and Cleopatra is just to know that the wedding ceremony of Mark Antony and Cleopatra took place in here in this temple of Isis, the goddess of love and the goddess of magic. And this is kind of talking a little bit about that beautiful queen that you've been asking me about the Queen Cleopatra. There are marks, thank you guys for listening, marks in the columns. We have this little piece of stone, of granite stone or granite stone, coming out of the wall itself. That would be one of the oldest ones.